obviously they had to know those planes were coming, right? They had to know that was going to take place in order to be ready to blow this building at the time, right?
Yeah, I would agree. Just as a note to that, you know, I don't know how many of you ever heard of Danny Jowenko? Danny Jowenko was a demolition expert, Dutch, who was shown a video of Building 7 coming down several days or weeks after the event. And he was not told where that building was or the circumstances of its destruction. And he was asked what he thought looking at the video. And he said, well, that's a controlled demolition. And the guy that showed him the video said, are you sure? He said, oh yeah, that's a controlled demolition for sure. I'm absolutely certain. So several weeks later, Danny Jowenko died in a mysterious single car accident where his car ran off the road and hit a tree. No witnesses and so on. I think that was a little object lesson for people in the demolition industry, that not to be running their mouth about what they thought happened that day. It's a very small community, the demolition people that can bring down tall buildings. There's not that many of them around the world, and they all know each other. And Danny Jowenko, I think, was a victim. I mean, this is speculation. I can't prove this. This is speculation. But
zie je vanaf boven gaan? Nee, je gaat vanaf onder.
Die gaat vanaf onder, ja.
Toch?
Ja.
Ze hebben gewoon kolommen weggeblazen. Er is nagesprongen.
Dit valt anders dan het World Trade Center.
Vind je niet dan?
Ja, je ziet het, de onderste verdiepingen gaan eerst.
Ja, en de rest zakt er gewoon in. Dus dit is controlled demolition.
Zeker weten.
Zeker weten. Er is nagesprongen. Dit is in opdracht gebeurd. Dit heeft een team gedaan van experts.
Maar dit is ook op 11 september gebeurd.
Dezelfde dag?
Dezelfde dag.
Dezelfde dag? Weet je dat zeker?
Ja. Daar gaat hij weer.
Ik kan me herinneren dat ze zeiden dat er nagesprongen is, maar het heeft dagen gerookt. Er was al veel rook weg. Was het zeker weten de 11e? Dat kan geen waar zijn.
7 uur nadat de World Trade Center naar beneden viel.
Ja? Hebben ze hard gewerkt. Ik ken de constructie van het gebouw niet, maar dan hebben ze heel rigoureus, heel snel ladingen aangebracht. Ze hadden dan wel de mazzel, omdat er al zoveel verwoest was in de omgeving. Dat
another item of similar, Barry Jennings, who was in Building 7 and was caught on video and was in Loose Change, the movie, and talked about being in Building 7 and witnessing explosions in that building early in the day. He died under mysterious circumstances in 2008, the same year that NIST issued their report on Building 7. So he was not around to take issue with any of their conclusions. And we've tried to run down the circumstances of his death and so on and so forth. We're having difficulty doing that. We're still trying. But these are some examples.
In fact, a big explosion in Building 7 was reported before either tower had collapsed. Sometime after 9 o'clock, Barry Jennings was descending the stairs of Building 7, trying to reach street level.
Well, me and Mr. Hesh, the Corporation Counsel, were on the 23rd floor. I told him we got to get out of here. We started walking down the stairs. We made it to the 8th floor. Big explosion. Blew us back into the 8th floor.
Jennings was trapped in the building for several hours, together with his colleague, Michael Hess.
Mr. Hess! 8th floor, 7 World Trade. I pass the word!
After they were rescued by the fire department, Mr. Hess confirmed the big explosion on the 8th floor.
So, Mr. Hess, you were trapped in, I believe, 7 World Trade Center. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I was. I was up in the Emergency Management Center on the 23rd floor. Another gentleman and I walked down to the 8th floor where there was an explosion.
In a later interview, Jennings has confirmed the explosion took place before either tower had collapsed.
Both buildings were still standing. I was trapped in there for several hours. I was trapped in there when both buildings came down.
While he was trapped, Jennings kept hearing more explosions.
All this time, I'm hearing all types of explosions.
In fact, explosions near Building 7 were recorded up to a few minutes before the building collapsed.
There's another one. There was a fire expert. They worked for Hughes Associates. Hughes Associates they do fire analysis. They were hired by NIST as one of the contractors to study the fires in the buildings. They had a guy, and I can't recall his name offhand, but he was considered to be the foremost fire expert in the country. And he died mysteriously in 2003. And I think he had a reputation to uphold. I don't think he was going to, it's very likely he wasn't going to go along with their story because he knew it didn't make any sense about the fires. So another mysterious death. And I think that these are, this is all supposition and guessing and so on and so forth. But they're facts that need to be looked at in context of the engineering aspect of it, which I think are important. Yes, sir.